More than my quiet heart. How Mina learned to lead in her own way. Mina's sneaker soles pressed into the blue-tiled hallway as bodies swept around her, a noisy tide. Lockers slammed, voices boomed, lights flickered overhead. Her sketchbook was a shield, held tight against her hoodie as she tried shrinking into the faded mint green fabric. The world buzzed so loud she almost forgot to breathe. There's a bathroom by the science wing where Mina hides between classes, slipping past the knots of chattering students. Inside, everything is cold tile and echoing quiet, but it feels like leaving a storm outside the door. She selects the farthest stall, perching on the plastic lid, drawing her knees to her chest. Here, she can exhale, pressing her sketchbook gently into her lap, letting her hands map familiar shapes across the battered cover. Her chest aches, not from running, but from holding her own heartbeat so tightly. On days like this, her mind loops. Am I different or just invisible? Does everyone notice the nervous girl who can't speak, who only draws? She pulls the sticky note from the inside cover. 5 things. See, smell, hear, feel, taste. She reads it, steadying herself, tracing invisible hearts on her palm. The loudest thing is inside me, she thinks. Not out there. Later, Mina's sanctuary is her bedroom. Taped-up sketches cover the blue-green walls, portraits, forests, swirling hearts. Books and pencils spill from her window seat, and her chunky gray blanket tangles at her feet as she sketches new shapes, searching for quiet in the golden light. Here, no one interrupts her silence. In her room, Mina lets the thoughts swirl. The hush here is different, full, heavy, and safe, not empty the way school hallways feel. She sits cross-legged on her bed, sketchbook balanced between her knees, staring at her newest drawing, a heart, thumping lines radiating from it, forest lines snaking around the edges. She bites her lip, remembering the whispers and glances at school, how teachers call her the quiet one, how kids seem to notice only her small voice or the notebook she pulls up like armor. It hurts, that feeling that her nervousness defines everything others see. What would it mean to be more than nerves, more than twitchy hands and pressed flat words? She wishes someone would look past the trembling voice and see what's blooming inside her mind. She doodles swirls along the page, shading darkness into light, and wonders if anyone else feels like their loudest part is their fear. Morning is softer in her bedroom. Sunlight stripes the walls through the half-open blinds, casting shifting shadows over her art supplies. Mina tugs on her faded hoodie, checking that her sketchbook is in her backpack, that her sticky note is tucked safely inside. She moves quietly, careful not to wake her parents. Sometimes she almost dreads the walk to school, the way anticipation bunches in her chest, the lingering hope she'll move through the day without her nerves crackling loud enough for everyone to hear. But art class flares on her mental map like a small lantern, a signal that there's one place she can breathe. If she just gets through the morning, she can spread her elbows on a paint-speckled table and slip into the world of colors instead of words. As she pulls on her sneakers, soft, worn in, marked with a streak of blue ink from last week, she steadies herself. Step out, breathe, be here, even if you're trembling. The art classroom shimmers with sunlight through tall windows. Tables are littered with colored pencils, scraps of paper, and half-finished sketches. Mina breathes in the charcoal and paint smell, shoulders settling. Mister. Patel lifts his rainbow mug, greeting students as Jayla waves with a marker, Armin adjusts pencils, and Rowan scribbles something funny onto a sticky note. Mister. Patel beams as he passes out crisp packets of paper. Identity zines, he explains, writing the word in swirls on the board. You'll be working in small teams. Your goal? Create a magazine about who you are, what makes you unique. At the end of the week, you'll share with the class. Mina slides into a seat, fingers fidgeting with her sleeve. To her left, Jayla radiates energy, a grinning sun in sunflower yellow, bouncing a little in her chair as she waves a highlighter. Armin sits across, already arranging graphite pencils in neat rows, expression thoughtful under the rim of his glasses. Rowan, smallest of the group, drops into a seat on Mina's right hoodie, pocket bulging with notes, sneakers marked with bursts of white ink. No, your jokes! Jayla twists around and says, "We're going to absolutely crush this." Mina, your covers are legendary. Want to try designing ours? The thought of all eyes on her stings, but something inside her flutters. Hope, or maybe dread. Jayla leans in, markers tapping, bright eyes focused on Mina. Armand glances away, carefully sketching city lines. Rowan nervously taps the corner of his joke book. Mina tugs her sleeves, giving a small nod, as the sticky note inside her sketchbook flickers in the lamplight. The group huddles close, brainstorming, colors swirling across the table. As the group dives into brainstorming, the air tangles with overlapping voices. Jayla sketches big picture frames, signing her name in looping letters. What about hidden talents? Or fears nobody talks about? She throws out. Armand shrugs, scribbling a miniature cityscape on his sticky note. Worries, I guess? Stuff we don't show at school. Like presentations, Rowan chimes in with a sheepish grin. Or the fear of totally blanking out in front of everyone. They should give out medals for surviving that. They each scribble down ideas, daydreams, quirks, worst nightmares, little triumphs. Mina half smiles, listening. Drawing feels easier than talking, but a warmth grows in her chest. Maybe it's all right to share pieces of what lives inside her. As they jot down their thoughts, Mina's focus shifts from the echo of worry to the feel of pencil gliding over the sticky note. For a moment, she lets herself imagine what it would be like if nobody was just one thing. We'll need someone to introduce our project, Jayla says, voice gentle, eyes flickering with encouragement toward Mina. Mina's throat tightens, her cheeks prickling warm. The idea of standing in front of the class makes her wish for invisibility. I could maybe write the summary instead. Or she trails off, the words soft, barely audible. Rowan, catching Mina's tension, mumbles, I freeze up too. Forget what I want to say, and then I just stand there looking weird. Armand quietly rubs the zipper tab on his backpack. Public speaking is hard for me too. I usually hope someone else volunteers first. Jayla glances between them, thinking, what if Mina shows how she sketches faces instead of doing all the talking like a mini art demo? And we each pick a bit we're comfortable with? Relief floods Mina's body, loosening the knot inside her. Here, at least, her friends seem to understand. Around a patchwork table, Jayla grins as she stacks sticky notes. Armin lines up drawing pencils, and Rowan flips through a joke book, writing pretend punchlines on his palm. Mina places her sketchbook in the center, hands trembling, but eyes intent as she sketches a smiling face. Laughter bubbles quietly between nervous breaths. After school, the library's club corner becomes their shared den. The alcove smells of old book pages and dust motes swirl in yellowish sunlight. Jayla sprawls across a beanbag, scribbling potential titles on the whiteboard. Armin prefers the solid structure of a wooden chair, arranging index cards methodically. Rowan pulls the zipper on his hoodie up and down, knee bouncing as he writes joke after joke, crossing out half. Mina watches her friends out of the corner of her eye. Despite all their differences, she sees signs of hidden nerves everywhere. Jayla's talking faster, Armin chewing his cheek, Rowan's laughter nervous and sharp. Mina sits near the window, breathing in the hushed sketchbook on her lap. She writes her grounding trick, 5 things to see, smell, hear, feel, taste. She repeats it quietly, her invisible armor. Each teammate shares a tidbit about their fears messing up, forgetting lines, letting people down. The club corner is a bubble, safe for ugly drafts and wobbly voices. That safety feels rare and precious. The first practice round goes awkwardly. Mina's fingers shake as she flips open her sketchbook, mechanical pencil poised above the page. Don't worry about us, Jayla says, glancing over her shoulder, bright and reassuring. Armand studies the pattern in the wood tabletop, trying to meet Mina's eyes through thick glasses, but quickly looking away. Rowan, caught mid-giggle over a doodled fish, mumbles, "I'd totally fall over if I had to do what you're doing." Mina inhales, picturing her counselor's advice. Breathe in for 4, hold for 4, out for 4. Still, her voice wobbles. The pencil tip stutters over the paper and she mutters, "I wish I wasn't like this." Armand shrugs, his lips quirking up. "Yeah, but you're here anyway." That's got to count for something. Jayla adds, "Let's make this a no perfection thing. Nerves get to all of us. We'll try again. Together." For the first time, Mina believes maybe screwing up is okay, as long as no one is left to flounder alone. Armin accidentally reads a joke slid into his note cards. Rowan loses his place, and Jayla snorts laughter so hard her marker cap flies across the carpet. Mina's smile is small, but it sticks, the tension cracked by shared embarrassment, not perfection. Sunlight falls golden over stacked books and scattered sketches. That night, the laughter echoes even in Mina's small, book-lined room. She curls under her chunky gray blanket, sketchbook balanced on her knees, a page half filled with quick portraits of her zine team. For the first time in a while, she isn't picturing herself backing away or vanishing behind careful lines. Instead, she sketches Jayla's bright, contagious grin, Armin's steady hands arranging pencils, Rowan's half-hidden dimple under a swooping fringe. She presses the sticky note against the page, her grounding technique, her protective charm. Overhead, the lamp casts warm pools of light, gentle on her tired eyes. For a moment, she lets go of analyzing every clumsy word and shaky laugh. Maybe some friendships are built from flubbed lines and nervous jokes, not faultless performances. Her drawings tonight are looserless about hiding, more about remembering what acceptance felt like. She taps the mechanical pencil against the desk, letting herself believe that a shaky voice and open sketchbook might be enough. Sprawled on her cozy blanket, Mina's knees hug her sketchbook. Quick pencil lines shape Jayla's smile, Armand's sharp focus, Rowan's dimpled grin. The lamplight puddles golden across the drawings, and the sticky note taped beneath her palm. Outside, blue evening gathers softly, but her shoulders finally relax. Presentation day slips closer, and in Mina's chest, anxiety spikes again, sharp and sour. She wakes before dawn, the city outside faintly humming, light gray at the window edges. Her sketchbook is already open on the nightstand. She scrawled reminders on sticky notes. Breathe in, out, ground yourself. You are more than nerves. But the tricks feel flimsy against the tidal wave building inside. She traces shapes, hearts, leaves, a little house onto her palm, hoping for calm. Breakfast stirs downstairs, but she can't eat. Not yet. Her notebook thuds in her backpack, heavier than usual. Maybe she doesn't belong in the center of attention. Defeat and hope tangle tightly in her stomach. Still, Mina ties her shoes, adjusts her faded green hoodie, and slips the sticky note into her jeans pocket. She whispers, "One part at a time." "You're not alone," then heads out the door, resolve layered uneasy with dread. Back at school, the art room hums with a tense excitement. Projects crowd every surface, stacks of zines wait beside the projector cart, and teams murmur nervously. Jayla zips in, sneakers squeaking, barrettes slipping from her wild hair. "We got this, right?" Jayla tosses a fist bump toward Rowan, who grins and mumbles the name of a superhero under his breath. Armand glances at his meticulously organized stack of drawings before tucking away a loose graphic pencil. "Mister." Patel circles the room, coffee mug in hand. "No matter what happens, the art is already brilliant," he says, catching Mina's eye and nodding, as if to steady her. Their group huddles by their desk. "Last chance to switch anyone want to trade jobs?" Rowan jokes. Mina meets their eyes, sees her nerves reflected back. Let's just do it our way, Mina whispers. The laughter is brittle, but genuine. Together, they breathe. The sun slants through classroom windows. Mina sits at their group's table, clutching her sketchbook. Jayla leans in, shining with encouragement. Armin studies his flashcards. Rowan bounces a little, mouthing silent punchlines. A hush settles as names are called, and outside the window, dust motes drift like nerves in the gold air. Jayla starts strong, bright voice carrying over the room as she clicks the projector remote. Their zine cover glows briefly on the screen. Mina's painted heart in a swirl of green and red. Then, pixels shudder, the colors fragment into static, and the screen fizzles into a storm of digital snow. No worries. Jayla improvises, but the quiet stretches uncomfortable as Miss Patel checks cables and frowns. The focus in the room sharpens, like every pair of eyes is squinting at their group at Mina. Her stomach knots, muscles rigid. She pictures herself shrinking, folding behind her sketchbook, willing herself invisible. Jayla nudges the cord, but nothing works. Now, it's just them and the waiting room, all the planning whisked away by a technical hiccup they can't control. For a long, drowning moment, Mina thinks about running, but something stops her. The sticky note, still in her pocket, pressing its magic against her palm. She can't disappear. Not now. The classroom hums with expectation. An electric silence buzzing off the desk edges. Mina's thoughts swirl out of control. If she stumbles, if she freezes, everyone will remember her as the girl who can't even talk. Words crowd her throat like a stone. Then she remembers last night's inked poem, I am more than my quiet heart, and the breathing trick she's been practicing for weeks. She slips a finger into her jeans pocket, feeling the familiar edges of her grounding sticky note. Can everyone close their eyes for 30 seconds? She blurts, voice barely above a whisper. Jayla nods with wide, encouraging eyes. Armand offers a tiny thumbs up, and Rowan flashes 2 crossed fingers. A couple of kids giggle, but Miss Patel calmly agrees. Mina walks them, one sentence at a time, through naming 5 things they can picture. Colors, sounds, sensations in their heads. As she finishes, she opens her sketchbook, showing the first swirling portrait. Her voice is wobbly but real. The tightness in her chest softens. Up front, Mina's posture is still curled, but her sketchbook is open for the room to see. Around her, classmates sit with eyes closed, faces relaxed, some smiling. A golden sunbeam cuts through the windows as Mina's voice, quiet but clear, guides their breaths. Fear and courage share the same space. When the class opens their eyes, Mina keeps her sketchbook steady. My heart thumps really loud when I get nervous, she says quietly. No hiding, just fact. But when I draw, it gets quieter. Our project is about what we all carry worries, talents, stuff you don't always see. Armin's afraid he'll mess up. Rowan's scared he'll disappoint people. Jayla's always worried about boring the audience. We're all more than what scares us. The words hang in the hush. She risks a glance up. Nobody's smirking, nobody's whispering. Instead, a few faces are brightened by surprise, mouths turn gently up. Jayla nudges Rowan, who gives a tiny fist pump. The silence that follows feels different, less like judgment, more like wonder. Mina feels tall, somehow, even as her knees knock under the table. By sharing her fear, she made room for everyone else's. As the last group finishes, classmates sidle over, not to tease or pity, but to ask real questions. How did you draw that cover? What's your favorite pen? What does your sticky note say? Jayla beams, basking in every question and sliding the zine between eager fingers. Rowan steps up, trying a joke, and this time drawing real laughter from 2 kids at the back. Armand, for once, isn't hiding behind his sketchbook, showing someone the skyline he's penciled for a mini-comic. Mina lets herself breathe. Really breathe. For the first time since she switched schools, she isn't just the nervous girl or the one who never talks, but someone whose soft answers matter, whose sketches are worth seeing. The worry doesn't evaporate, but it's lighter, fluttery, almost a friend now. Sometimes, the most powerful thing isn't hiding your nerves, but letting them speak and finding out you're not as alone as you thought. After the bell, students gather around the zine table. Jayla's eyes glow. Rowan gives Mina a secret thumbs up, and Armin laughs openly at a silly doodle. Mina's hoodie sleeves slip back to reveal her wrist bare, unshielded, as she shows someone a sketch. The tension carried all week slowly floats away. Hallways are still crowded, fluorescent lights still flicker, but for Mina, something is fundamentally gentler. She bumps shoulders with Rowan as they move toward lockers, both laughing at a bad joke scribbled on a sticky note. Armand trails behind, sketching a traffic jam of sneakered feet in the margin of an index card. Did you see how many people liked the cityscape? Rowan beams. Dude, I didn't even want to stand in front of the class, and now everyone keeps asking what I drew. Armand replies, cheeks faintly pink. Mina watches them, feels the familiar press of nerves, but now it's softer, less like a chokehold, more like a cautious hug. You did good, Mina, Rowan says, voice clear. Those words are heavier, kinder than any high five. She doesn't know if anxiety ever really leaves. But today, it isn't the loudest thing in the hallway. Acceptance rings a tiny, lasting note through the clamor. Chaos still spins in the hallway, but Mina moves slower now, each step a decision she owns. Jayla's voice booms. I've got this wild idea. What if we run a zine all year, or even a podcast calling it Invisible No More? Rowan laughs, tagging an invisible microphone, and Armand raises an eyebrow, less opposed than usual. Jayla twirls a friendship bracelet, eyes locked on Mina. You do the covers, right? And maybe teach people that trick with the sticky note. Seriously, everyone wanted to know. Mina shrinks for half a breath, then catches herself and nods, not just out of habit, but with actual want. She doesn't have to be fearless, just willing. Courage, she realizes, is as much about being seen as it is about stepping forward. And now she knows how to start. Huddled in beanbags beneath posters of book heroes, Jayla writes Invisible No More in wild loops. Rowan tosses pastel sticky notes skyward, Armand sketches tentative podcast logos, and Mina traces a new heart on the notebook cover. This one, big and radiant. Every laugh stitches trust tighter between them. Back in her bedroom, Mina looks around. The familiar walls, canvassed with sketches, seem brighter, more hers than ever. She shuffles through a pile of newly taped up art, scenes bursting with color, friends mid-laugh, a heart nested inside a forest. Her grounding sticky note sits propped against a pencil jar. It's not magic, but hers alone. Mina sorts her favorite pens in a careful row, then traces the poem she inked last night. I am more than my quiet heart. Her heartbeat is still loud some days. But fear, Mina realizes, now sits beside her. Not on top. The world's noisy corners are still waiting, but she has pages to fill, space to take up, lines to claim for herself. She opens a new sketchbook with a practiced flourish, already seeing the zine cover forming in her mind, a glowing heart forest winding within. Tomorrow, she'll draw it in bold lines. Under golden lamplight, Mina sweeps her pencil across the blank cover page. Her face is open, gaze focused, mouth softly pursed. Forest branches curl from a heart at the page's center. Her sketchbook no longer shields her chest. It rests open, a quiet celebration of what's grown strong inside. Later, sitting with knees hugged close beneath the window seat, Mina pens a poem, lines loose and easy. They don't see the noise inside my chest. They see art, not nerves. I carry both. Someday I'll tell them, hearts can be thunder and still draw the quietest lines. Maybe the loudest thing isn't fear after all, but how brave you are to keep showing up trembling and true. She copies the words to a new sticky note and smooths it across her sketchbook's final page. Mina leans her head against the cool window pane, watching dusk gather slow. She doesn't need to be the brave one or the loudest, just herself, and that is enough. Surrounded by sketches and soft stacks of books, Mina's lamp casts a mosaic of gold across the tidy desk. She smooths a fresh page, pencil poised, a small, contented smile playing at her lips. Beyond the window, night is vast and gentle. Courage feels like this, ready for whatever she'll draw next. A few weeks later, the art classroom feels familiar and open in new ways. Mina and her team sit in a loose knot, half listening to Mr. Patel outline the next club project, this time, a mural for the library passageway, celebrating student voices. Jayla's ideas bounce from faces to galaxies, Rowan mimes tracing joke letters, and Armand flips through color samples with uncharacteristic ease. Mina studies her team, the scratch of graphite beneath her sleeve, then clears her throat. If you want, I can sketch a draft for the mural poster. Her voice is steady, surprised even to her own ears. Jayla's encouragement is electric, but no longer a cushion she needs to hide behind. Even Mr. Patel gives her a look of genuine respect, not just comfort. Mina realizes the version of herself she's creating is not braver, but more whole-strong. Not despite, but because of the quiet. The group gathers in the after-school hush, light catching dust motes on every half-finished canvas. Jayla tosses her head back, grinning. I never knew public speaking could actually bring people closer, she jokes, bumping fists with Rowan. Or that Armand would survive Rowan's jokes every meeting. Rowan chimes in, laughter now bright, not brittle. Mina listens, then adds, maybe the secret is not trying to be perfect, just honest. Armand nods, sliding Mina a quick, grateful look. And having backup. I never would have presented if you all hadn't been there. The laughter is looser now, not just a shield, but a celebration. Mina tucks a new sticky note into her sketchbook. The words glow under her palm, louder than fear. And in that moment for Mina, and maybe for all of them, friendship feels like the quietest, strongest thing of all. Sunlight splashes across the wall as Mina sketches the first lines of the library mural. Jayla adds yellows, Armand shades, and careful blues. Rowan, armed with a joke book and steady hand, scripts tiny, funny captions into the roots. Mina's smile is open, her arms stretched, lines unbroken louder than her fears. That evening, Mina perches by the window seat, sun sliding away outside. She pulls her sketchbook close, writing a quiet letter to her future self. Remember this feeling of being heard, not just seen. Of your heart echoing in bright colors, not just quick thuds. Of friends who didn't want you braver, but just more yourself. She sketches a small heart surrounded by branches, shadows, and light. Beyond the window, city lights blink on, one by one. Mina's anxiety hasn't left. Some days will still be churning awkward, full of hurdles. But she knows now. Softness is strength, and voices come in all decibels. Courage is showing up, even when she can't keep all the noise inside quiet. Mina closes the sketchbook, content to wait for tomorrow. Mina leans against the window ledge, city lights twinkling below. Her sketchbook is hugged gently to her chest. No longer a shield, but something cherished. Her mouth curves softly, new confidence flickering in the dusk. Out there, a humming world awaits. Inside, Mina is ready to try, quiet or not. Night wraps Mina's room in velvet blue-green. She's not sure what next week's worries will be. New projects, harder classes, an offhand glance in the hall. But Mina thinks about the heart scrawled on her zine cover, how the forest keeps growing. Her friends are close, her courage steady, not just on the loud days, but even quieter ones when no one else sees. Maybe the bravest thing isn't finishing a presentation or talking to a crowd. Maybe it's opening a new page every day, letting yourself fill it, trembling lines and all. Mina slides her sketchbook and pencil beside her pillow, whispers goodnight to the tiny stars taped to her wall. Tomorrow's messes and victories can wait. She's earned her peace. On a clean, sticky note, Mina jots down Mina's ways to tame the loud heart for next month's group scene. 1. Find 5 things you can see, hear, smell, taste, feel. Stick it in your pocket. 2. Doodle it out, draw your worry as a cartoon. Make it silly. 3. Let your friends know. Sharing nerves cuts the weight in half. 4. Don't wait for fear to be gone. Start small. 5. Remember your best moment, not just mistakes. She tucks the sticky note into her sketchbook, hoping maybe her tricks will help someone else someday. Most importantly, she writes, no one is only what they're afraid of. Courage is carrying it all and showing up anyway. Mina's sketchbook lies open, swirling hearts, poem fragments, bright sticky notes, a treasure map of everything she's learned fill the page. The lamp pools soft gold across her words and artwork. The chaos, the courage, and the quiet all live here, together,